thinking this is going to be one of those dishes that we have to go. Okay, ready? Can I do it?
Go.
Yeah?
Go. Hey, and welcome to Getting Into Raw Cooking with Zane. Today, again, episode 2 with Samantha Backman from My Rawgasms and a Bloody Brilliant Life. And I am, again, still very excited to have her in my own kitchen, playing with some delicious foods. We're going to make you a seaweed salad with a light Asian dressing today, and you're going to love it.
And of course the seaweed is great because it's high in calcium, which we'll come back to in a minute.
Absolutely. So to start out, really simple. All we need to do is pop the amount of seaweed that we like into a big bowl and put some water in it to rehydrate it. Very simple, quick and easy. Now you can eat these seaweeds raw. Have you done that before, Samantha?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when you say rehydrated, boy, at my age, I'm sort of, getting a little bit wrinkly. Maybe if I sit in the bath long enough, I'll come out looking like I'm 40-something instead of 50-something.
I like the idea. I come out looking like a prune though,
unfortunately. Yeah, actually, it doesn't work with us. And the longer we come out of the bath looking, the longer you sit in there, all of a sudden you look like you're 15 again.
No, I wish. We have in here nori, we have in here red dolls.
The smell of this is like we're at the beach.
It is, and I love it, I just really love it. My favourite, this one, wakame, so good. Look, I just eat it raw like this. Have a bit of that, Samantha. It's a little bit chewy, beautiful in flavour. Now, seaweeds are high in iodine, and Samantha has just been telling me some absolutely great news about the calcium.
Now I have this in my teeth. What it is, we know that it's full of minerals and vitamins and all that sort of thing. But what is overlooked with it is the amount of calcium that's in it, which is really important to have calcium in it. That's hot water she's putting in there, by the way. To have food, to have the calcium more in a biological state in which you can absorb it properly. So what happens is we often do get enough calcium in our diet, but because our diet on the other hand is quite acidic, in other words the pH of our blood is more on the acid side, and of course calcium is quite alkaline. In fact, if you've got a really acid diet, which is typical Western diet, basically what happens is our body will take calcium out of our bones and dump it into our blood. So we're deficient in calcium because of our diet. And of course, what's in Western society, what's high on the list is osteoporosis.
That's true.
So
people get the wrong idea and they try and drink more and more dairy, which is acidic, to increase their calcium.
Don't do the cow thing unless you've got a cow in your backyard or you're breastfeeding, and that's all right. But yeah, we don't. The cow in the backyard thing, the thing is once we change it, once we pasteurize and homogenize. Have I got a minute to explain pasteurize and homogenize? Yeah. So if you imagine, this is the analogy I'm going to give you. If you imagine we'll use juices just as a start. So imagine 2 fresh carrot juices. So 1 carrot juice you take away, you boil, you bring back. It's not the same. One is a raw carrot juice and the other one's carrot soup, is it not?
Yeah, absolutely.
Basically, it's carrot soup. So now we'll imagine with breast milk, you've got 2 bottles you just expressed, and you take one away and you boil it. You know when you give it to your child, that one's different. In fact, it's milk soup. The word for that heating of it is pasteurization. So basically what you're drinking when you have dairy that's been pasteurized is milk soup. Now if they homogenize it, then you're breaking down the proteins, making them not only unavailable to the body doesn't recognise them. So what happens is that's where we get all the allergies, ear, nose, throat things, runny noses, congestion, so we can't do it. So in other words, if you want to have milk to get your calcium, get a cow or a goat or a pig. Or stay on them. In the meantime, if you don't want to do that and don't do the dairy, which is a good idea because no other animals drink dairy after they're weaned, go with seaweeds. And it's just because most people think of them as not palatable. But I tell you what, you can do some stuff with this. Is amazing.
This is so tasty. And we've spoken about pasteurization now, which was absolutely perfect because kelp noodles are not actually officially raw because they are pasteurized. They're pasteurized, but they're a really great source of minerals, iodine, and calcium. So there's still something really good to use. It means though that when you get them, they smell a little bit. You've got to give them a good rinse under the water, and then you can soak them with your other seaweeds. But really remember, rinse these thoroughly first before you pop them in. The other really important keynote that I'm going to make today is that I have used hot water. I've boiled the jug and then let it sit for a while. You don't want your food to go over 40 degrees so you don't kill the enzymes. So it's not straight off the boil, it's after the water's been sitting for a little while.
And you like to get bits of grit and sand or shell or what just to clean them out from that point of view?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And once you drain the liquid off and get rid of it, and occasionally you are going to find, and I think I have one over here in the cupboard, a tiny little snail shell. It's
wow,
one of the hazards.
Nothing snails, there's nothing wrong with snails. Actually, saying that, I wasn't going to say that because I thought it was, you know, not good against a product, but that's just how they actually come in nature. And we used to eat apples as a kid with worms in them. You just bite it and you go, oh my God, I think I just ate the head off a worm. And my mother would say, it won't hurt you, keep going. But with these sort of sea vegetables, I remember once I had them in a glass jar and I never had really looked at them. And I'm sitting there this day and I noticed this thing's moving in the jar.
Really?
And there was little like, I don't know what you'd call them, like just little things moving around. And I went back to the shop and they said, no, that can be quite normal in those products. I mean, it's just little, like, I can't even describe what they were. It was more like you couldn't see them, you could see the stuff moving. Just little movements like something's in there. And I thought, well, why don't you cook it up? It's potash.
I'm going to pop the lid on there and that will rehydrate while we quickly whip up the sauce.
So how long do you leave that for?
I literally put it in, soak it, make the sauce, drain it off, serve it up. So
Excellent.
It's very, very easy.
Nothing to it.
And this is so simple. We're going to pop straight in the blender.
In the blender.
Okay.
This is the Optimum blender.
This is the Optimum 9900 blender.
I love this company. I love Mario. He sent me 2 of them. Do you want more ginger or that's
No,
enough?
I've just got 1. It's up to you. I probably put a little bit more than I normally would, but I love ginger. About a teaspoon is plenty. Actually, pop the rest of the bottle in there. I think we've got about a tablespoon.
Not the whole bottle like that?
No, I think you can take the bottle
Just
out.
joking. You probably could. The glass would be crushed up and you'd probably have
Well,
like
absolutely, but I don't know that it'd be very good for our insides.
No,
Okay. A little bit of extra
That's
fibre.
it. We can throw this.
We can throw that
There's
in.
a bin step.
There is. There's a compost one on this side, bin there. We're going to pop the rest of the coconut nectar in here. You can use a sweetener of your choice, but coconut nectar is a sweetener of my choice. So it's about a tablespoon of each of those. Once we've done with both of those,
and you can always do the taste test and add more or less.
And guarantee.
We can't add less after you've made it, but you can add more.
You can definitely add more, and you can balance things out. And we're going to do that today.
Okay, so
2 tablespoons of the rice wine vinegar.
So you want me to measure this one?
Yes, please.
2 of these?
2 of those. Now remember, with rice wine vinegar, be really careful of the one that you buy.
Was that 2 in that one?
No, that's 1.
That's 1. I don't know. I just throw it in.
I'm only measuring for you.
I don't use the tablespoons. It's like that.
And then 2 tablespoons of the...
It was more like what you had in the cupboard, what was available.
That's what we did with the first 2 ingredients.
So 2 of those?
2 of those. And the rice wine vinegar, as I was saying, be very careful that you choose one that doesn't have glucose syrup in it. So you can get one that is just actually the water, the gelatinous rice, which is what you want. There are some with glucose syrup. Leave that out. You don't need it. The sesame oil, again, you can get raw. It's so tasty. You want to name some benefits of this one?
Well, of course, your sesame seeds are high in just about every damn thing you can get. But in fact, calcium is it, especially if they're raw, of course. You know that the raw sesame seeds roast them a little bit if you need, but if you just want to throw them in a salad raw, that is great. Of course, they take on a different flavour when you roast them. But what I love about this, you know, I've actually used this on my nails. If you rub sesame oil on, it's very good. Don't do it when you're going to bed. Don't do it during the day because you're going to have sesame. I cut mine because I do a lot of work with people and I can't have them on these days. But no, absolutely great. Hair, nails, all that sort of thing. Great benefits. And it's a good oil. It's good to have the good oils. Whether it be sesame oil, olive oil, which you want to do raw. You know, they used to say that you would cook in olive oil. Turned out they were wrong. In fact, if you get some really good cookware, good pans, they won't guarantee the pan for the years, whatever it is, if you use olive oil. So cook with coconut oil, rice bran oil, macadamia nut oil, but not the olive oil. So great oil. Put that in everything. Put it in absolutely everything.
You also have a choice here. I'm not sure what everybody knows, but this particular one, it's made with roasted sesame seeds, so it's not a raw product, but you can get a sesame oil with
well, it gives a different flavour when it's roasted. And as I said in the last episode, if we do 20% raw and the rest not, that's about a good balance. Because if you go too raw, I mean all raw totally, we tend to become a little too alkaline. We'll take a while with most of it. I was going to say, do you want me to put a couple of tablespoons in that?
Just a pinch. I was watching, I was scared.
We'll put 2 in there.
2 pinches.
I think like maybe make it 3. Because there's nothing like good Celtic salt. We need the minerals in the Celtic salt.
Seeds and all, let's do it.
Seeds and it needs about that much chilli. Is this one of those really hot ones?
It's not a bird's eye chilli, it's a Thai red chilli, so it shouldn't be too hot, though it was a bit warm in our last recipe that we made. And then a squeeze, no measurement required, a squeeze.
Like a whole squeeze?
A whole big squeeze in there.
Give me a softer one.
Should have rolled it. Actually, good tip if it's not. I thought it was a bit soft. It's to roll it backwards and forwards before you do it, but I did think it was a bit softer than what it was. And then the last ingredient that we're going to pop in there,
Do you know what I used to do at uni? This is completely off the subject and not particularly healthy. But I had this idea. We would get the oranges, roll them around, squeeze the juice out, and then fill it with vodka. No, but I was back in uni days. And you could put a straw in there and you'd be stuck in the vodka and the teachers never knew. It was a crazy. It was like, why is everyone eating oranges?
This was
a long time ago. Oh, it was a long time ago.
I think that's plenty, Samantha. That's great. Throw in just a bit of.
Let me use your apron.
Use my apron. That's what
I don't get orange, which will be sticky, and of course the ants love all that sort of thing. So we want some pepper.
Excellent.
Is this? Have we got the? Is it coming?
Is it coming? I can see it's coming. It's good. If you don't have it in a crunch jar like this, one of your grinders, you can just throw a few peppercorns in as well. No challenge at all. So that's all the ingredients that we're going to blend. We're going to pop the lid on there, and I'm going to leave Samantha in charge.
Yes, okay, now we're on low. We're up there.
Oh, she's got it.
This is my favourite instrument.
My favourite toy in the kitchen. So when you take the lid off, Samantha, then throw in not quite a tablespoon of sesame seeds. We're not going to blend them, we're just going to throw it in and stir it around.
Stirring,
and we're going to stir around these, again, not blending. This is just a shallot, scallion, green onion, spring onion, whatever you'd like to call it. Stir it through, so that's our dressing. Yeah, it is tasty.
Do you want me to put it in anything? Or
no, just straight in our salad.
Yum!
All I'm doing here is draining out the seaweed warm. You can do one of two things. You can actually leave it warm, which is what we're going to do today, and serve it as a warm salad. So it's still raw but warm, which is great as it's getting cooler in Australia at the moment. Something that you might like, and then we're just going to pour the dressing on the top. Otherwise, if it's summer or you don't feel like warm, you can put them back in the fridge and make them cold again. Yep.
The smells coming out of this kitchen are absolutely amazing. It smells like an Asian restaurant, doesn't it, with all the Asian smells? I agree, totally. Do
you want to pour the top off?
Yeah, so we're just going to get all the little bits and pieces out of the bottom there. Done! Done. We're ready to go. Alright, we'll leave that there. The thing is you don't have to wash it with this, we just put all those other flavours into the next recipe.
It's great.
Absolutely. How'd you get a black one, by the way? I've got a white one.
They come in black and they come in beige.
Oh,
so there you go.
Well, beige, yeah, that's it. If I hadn't known that, because I like the black ones.
Guess what? I'm going to tell you, it's really exciting. We've got a red one coming.
I'll match my lipstick. Black
they
one.
go faster.
Mario, do you think you can send me another one? You know why?
Alrighty, I'm stirring this one through. And look, this is so tasty and so delicious. I'm going to grab a plate, we'll serve it up, and then I'll make Samantha have a taste. What do you think?
Oh, yep. I want to have that with chopsticks though, because I can just tell that that is going to go well with chopsticks. Okay, so if I can just put some in a bowl.
Pop some in a bowl, serve it up however you choose. This will serve 2 to 4 people as an entree. I could probably eat the whole lot.
I'm going to have look at that. Okay, this is going to be, can I have the chopsticks please?
Look at this, I came prepared. Oh, here you go.
I've actually got chopsticks from the Taj Hotel in India that they gave me in a special little bag that I can carry into anywhere I go. I'm just thinking this is going to be one of those dishes that we have to go. Okay, ready? Can I do it?
Go.
Yeah?
Go.
It's
got a bit of a crunch to it. Now you can leave your kelp noodle soak even longer, but I like the crunch. I don't know about you.
You know what? That is absolutely bloody brilliant.
I like it a lot.
It's going to have my taste buds kicking, screaming and begging for more.
I still think it's begging for raw, Samantha.
We're going to use that for now. Begging for raw. Very chewy. Do you know what I'm thinking?
What are you thinking?
Out loud. Because that sauce is so nice and it's liquid and it kind of goes to the bottom a bit, how we could thicken it up and put it in and
I've done it before with nuts. If you put some cashew nuts in, it goes into a thick creamy sauce and it sticks. It goes more like
sticks onto it. So that could be an idea as a variation to. I mean, this is all. There's nothing wrong with it, but I want to suck up all that juice. So if you put just puree your cashew nuts into a paste,
and you just put them in the same mixture, and it comes all the way through.
And blend it through and yeah, I think even try that as a.
I've done it before in a similar style to a pad thai, which is really beautiful.
Even avocado.
That would work as well. All the healthy fats from the
Put
avocado.
a raw avocado in there.
And red dulse,
then it
and
will go
David Wolf says red dulse and avocados are the raw food staples. So there you go. David Wolf tip all the way. Enjoy. Well, I think it's great. Samantha's really enjoying it. And I'm going to have a taste just a minute. But thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Getting Into Raw Cooking with Zane with my absolutely special guest, Samantha Backman.
And thank you for tuning into my rawgasms and the raw essentials and all the other bits that I do with my interview with Zane.
Fantastic.
Unbelievable.
If you'd like to get your own Optimum blender, go down to the details below and click on the Fruithie website closest to you. I have a collection right down here. And if you like this episode, this is part 2 of a 4-episode series of how to have an Asian raw dinner party. Ciao for now.
This is it. Bye, y'all. I think this is the best raw dish as a savoury dish that we've done. I know. Because that peanut sauce, that mock peanut sauce is amazing, but just the concept of putting the mushroom